Boom to the hey, all you sports fans out there in the Tubosphere. Welcome to the One Man Sports Rant, Gen 2.0. I am your host, Will, the alternative ESPN. Sports Thrill, doing week 2 review of college football. You see our Pi Kappa Alpha, house sweethearts. You heard from Dead or Alive, brand new lovers. So what is Gen 2.0, the OMSR? Just briefly, lots of Olympic shows to go into more detail. It's not 15 minutes of me flapping my gums, but it's not a 15-minute sports highlight reel either. It's the best of both. So, the show is copyrighted to OMSR. Brief video highlights courtesy to ESPN. OMSR does not own these video highlights, but does own all the other original content and the overall concept herein, thereof, therefore, most rights reserved. We also adhere to the strict interpretation standard of the DCMA, Digital Copyright Act. These tenets were hashed out through WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization, and these are derivatives, fair use standard, minimal use. You could also say no money exchange hands, because the OMSR is a pro bono production. Alright, so just briefly today, before I get to the Life Rant Sports Rant of the day, I always let you know the highlights coming up so you know what you get. Get a little bit longer highlight reel within the context of a show, so that's good. Try to keep the talk short, sweet, in soundbite form via the highlights. Alright, so today we have... Okay, so now we're talking part 3. Sorry for the abrupt cutoff, but I decided to make that the baseline show for all of these parts 4, maybe 5. Hopefully it will just be 4. So in part 3, we're talking UCLA versus Nebraska. Those are all the highlights. I broke it down in a nice vignette as to how, in the second half, UCLA took it to Nebraska. And I chose this game because, you know, with all the stuff going on, that was the one I was paying the most attention to. But also because it's sort of, yeah, it's like unique singular importance in that. You think of Nebraska, you think of UCLA the last couple of years. You know, Nebraska having been there in quite some time. That was not a upset, as it were, although Nebraska was one of the, you know, lower ranked or a higher number top 25 team to be upset by an unranked team because of how UCLA looked against Rice last week, and everybody was like, oh, well, you know, Rice against Rice would do that. And by the same token, Nebraska against Southern Miss looked very good in their opener, so it sort of seemed like maybe it would be a cakewalk. Nobody saw Arizona, boom, you know, outscoring Oklahoma State the way they did. Oregon State, Wisconsin, you know, tight game. Could have gone either way. But you'll see in the clips coming up in terms of the interesting commentary on it, and this is what I meant in part 2, where Gus Johnson and Charles Davis, they make a great team, for sure. And I wonder if Gus is just moonlighting until the tournament starts up again, because we've been hearing him for years on CBS. So, just a little side note on that. So the Life Rant Sports Rant of the day, it's unfortunate, you know, the new Heisel couldn't get it going at UCLA. I spoke at length about this, either parts 1 or 2, week 1 review, college football. How all these schools have been going through football mediocrity because of all the coaching changes and lack of patience for some coaches that they had who were doing well. And you could say that, or you could infer, deduce, whatever word you want to use, because the coaches who came in right away do well with the other guys' players when they have to start recruiting their own. And a good example is Charlie Weiss at Notre Dame. The director starts to, you know, peel off that way. It happened in Colorado with Dan Hawkins. Some guys make great coaches, some make great recruiters. So with new Heisel, he did good at Colorado, he did great at Washington. Silly ass tournament pool thing that was his undoing at Washington. Goes to UCLA, his alma mater. Doesn't seem to be able to get it going. But remember, he inherited Carl Durrell's players. And now Jim Morrow's getting all this credit. He's inheriting new Heisel's players in terms of who was recruited by whom. So it's just as easy to say if UCLA was now 0-2, these players would go, oh gosh, here we go again. But instead, they and probably a lot of pundits are like, oh, he's such a man, he's so much better than New Heisel. Why did New Heisel do this, that, and the other? Most primarily with the quarterback. Of course he had redshirted him last year. He had a couple, you know, seniors, upperclassmen. You're not going to put a freshman in there unless you absolutely need to, or he's proven that he is the go-to guy, and waste a year of eligibility unless there's a medical reason. All right, but that's different. That's not what I'm talking about here. Willingly wasting that. You know, you save that red shirt for the potential medical reasons or to gain that extra year of eligibility. So I feel for Neuheisel. I think he should probably just call it a day, go retire. Probably got a nice place up in Colorado because he was coaching there for years. There's a 2-minute warning so I don't go over on time. Alright, so from Generation 1 we always go back to our musical lead-into. You heard from Dead or Alive, Brand New Lover. Remember, no silly DUIs while you're out there celebrating college football. Thanks for watching as well. And from Gen 2.0, later days, more college football play.
Recap from the first half. And right away, UCLA found their big guy, Fourier, but Amir Abdullah filling in for Rex Burkhead. Done a nice job with Fourier, 2 touchdowns on the day. Abdullah matching him with his second one. And Brett Hundley, the redshirt freshman quarterback, hitting Stephen Manfro, has been scintillating. But to finish it off, Brett Maher doesn't let the mind games of Jim Moore, the coach of UCLA, affect him. Nails the 54-yarder at the buzzer.
And that brings us to the Geico first half stats. Remember, both these teams in their openers accounting for over 600 yards in total offense. In the first half, they may be on their way to doing it once again.
The one note of danger right there on the stats for Nebraska, 0 for 4 on third down conversions. In a game like this, coming up with empty possessions can put you behind the 8-ball going in.
Beautiful shot of the Rose Bowl. Our aerial coverage is provided by Goodyear. Everything we've learned making tires that go the distance inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. Nebraska takes over at their own 38. 27-24 UCLA. Got the number 16 team in the nation on the road. Driven down by Anthony Barr. Tackled for a loss of 3 yards, and Barr has been a mauler the first 2 games of the season. 4 at the 43. Martinez off his back foot, incomplete. I'll tell you what, I think these Nebraska receivers and this Nebraska team is experiencing as well how physical UCLA comes into this game, especially a team that was considered soft over the past few years. I
think the speed is showing up also. Watch the pressure of UCLA coming at Martinez. He will not have time to have the ball in his hands for very long. He's got to make a decision and get rid of it. Because right there, Omawabe, Odighizuwa, number 94, forced the issue.
43-yard field goal attempt for Maher. He's hit a 54-yarder in this game, a career-long. Maher. And perfect. The 22. Martinez in the shotgun. He's been under a lot of pressure. Let's see if the Bruins come with the blitz. Low snap. Martinez down again. Sunwolf with the sack. This UCLA defense in the second half has really stepped it up. And 8 for Taylor Martinez at his own 9. Look at what they are tonight on third down conversions. 0 for 7. Last week against Southern Miss, 12 of 15. The UCLA defense has really stepped up on third down. Martinez wants to run it, and they pick up the first down, breaking a tackle. Eric Kendricks hopped off for a ride, but he gains 13.
And this had nothing to do with speed. This had to do with power, as he runs through Eric Kendricks and drags him for a first down.
On first down, Abdullah on the toss. Abdullah, watch out! Abdullah cuts it back inside and gets to the UCLA 41. Take a look at this last field goal attempt.
Field goal kickers like the laces away from them, pointing to the goalpost. Jay Steen, the holder, trying to spin it, gets him halfway away and doesn't quite get it all the way turned around. And when your kicker is struggling, you need everything else to be perfect for him.
Franklin. And Franklin. Franklin. First down. Jonathan Franklin. Stopped by P.J. Smith. Franklin, 7th running back in UCLA history now with 3,000 career rushing yards.
The key with how these defenses are playing. I'm not sure we can overstate how well both defenses are playing this half.
Right.
They have really taken control of this game after the first half was a complete and total track meet.
Jeff Locke from the 44, Aussie end-over-end kick. Abdullah steps up to field it. And look at it bounce back. Wow. Dives at the 5. Nebraska. Oh! That's a safety. Unbelievable. Dayton Jones hell-bent to the quarterback.
What were we talking about in the break, Gus? What did we say in the break? And this is what? Don't make a mistake territory for Nebraska. Backed up in their own end zone, you can't have it. And we've been looking for that big play by a defense. And Dayton Jones and UCLA.
Stanford playing today. Now it's Franklin turning on the Jets up the sideline. Franklin cuts it inside. Franklin still good. Down at the 20. Jonathan Franklin.
What a stand by the Nebraska defense after the big play by Franklin. Looked like UCLA had all the momentum. And Nebraska had the moxie to hang in there and force them into a field goal attempt. Stafford breaking up the pass to Fourier.
Fairbairn comes in to attempt a 34-yarder. 2 for 3 this evening. Gets it up and no good. Wow. Big play for the Nebraska defense. 3rd down and 13. They need a stop right here. Hundley under pressure. Hundley and the Nebraska defense comes up big. Andrew Green, Will Compton get to the quarterback.
And now it's not even a field goal attempt. They've got to punt the football. They held them to no points on this one.
2nd down and 10. Martinez again to throw. Martinez lofts it up. Picked off. Evans. Big time play. One they will remember at UCLA for quite some time. They swing it out. Franklin looking. Touchdown Bruins.
Trying to get it into the middle, but they tried to come out fast and hopefully kept UCLA napping. But that type of play really is only effective when you think there's zero threat of an onside kick.
Excuse me, Jim Mora. Signature win here at UCLA in his 2nd game as head coach. Defeating Nebraska, the 16th ranked team in the country, 36-30. Their first win against the Cornhuskers since 1988.